And it is the only reason, of course, that I would appear before you tonight. And I would hope that we would have a chance to really understand one another. Most certainly, I would say things that will alienate some of you because of your personal lifestyle. That is not my intent. I have no fight with black people. I never in my life have used words like Tom. I never in my life have used words like nigger. I'm not that type of person. I have one enemy, and that enemy is the white race. No other enemies do I have. And therefore, I'm at total war with that enemy, the enemy who has for 362 years waged unrelenting war against my people. And I have no time to have internal conflicts. I do take issue with brothers because of their political position, but it's not personal. It's a political position. And so with that being a background, I'd like to say to you that the most important thing that has happened to me was left out of the introduction, inadvertently. And that was the fact that I grew up. I was born and raised in an all-black town in Alabama. For the first 17 years of my life, I had all-black teachers, all-black role models, black people who loved me, who protected me, who raised me, who fed me, who nurtured me, and also who educated me. And I would like to say, as I say all the time, that there's a difference between education and training, and therefore the difference between education and training, I'm fortunate because I was educated by black people and I was trained at the University of Chicago. Unfortunately, black people, as part of the mental style process, black people are more impressed with the fact that I was trained at the University of Chicago than the fact that I was educated by black people in Alabama. And with that, I'm going to take a sort of different tag with me. And I'll start by telling you one of the problems in talking about a theory. One of the most difficult tasks of a black scholar, one of the most difficult tasks of a black person who thinks, is to be able to analyze the influence of racism or racist on black behavior and attitudes, be able to do that analyzation, and at the same time escape the almost irresistible Western scholarship protective barrier. Western scholarship in the Western world, that is their protection. They have a barrier, and they call it scholarship. And it protects them so well that even when you begin to study racism, you end back up studying the victim, doing an analysis of their victims. That's what has happened. So there's no question that this analysis of the victim methodology has been a major scientific development of white scientists because it effectively leads away from the cause of our condition, which is white pathology. It leads you away from that once you get into it, because the way the scholarship is set up. One of the results is that the position is usually taken that one should not even imply to the black masses our truly weak position for fear of immobilizing them. In other words, you shouldn't talk about all the conditions of blacks because you immobilize them, which are a condition which already exists. While others take the position that whites have power over blacks all. Now this is due to the all-powerful but non-existent white concept of free will. Free will, which has us in all sort of trouble. All sort of trouble, this idea that you got free will. Namely that people always have choices, and you have choices since you have free will. Therefore, you can be held responsible for your behavior. And that free will, of course, as I spoke to last night, that free will, what it leads to then, it leads to a great deal of negative behavior. And it leads to rugged individualism. Therefore, to give you a type of analogy, and I'm not trying to be humorous. This is objective. This is science. This is science. You know what science is? A group of white men and women getting in a room, so this is the way the world is. If you disagree with us, we'll kill you or we'll flunk you. That's simple. That's simple. So this is no more objective than anything else in the world. This table up here is some science, and white people have gotten together and said, this is science. Here's a definition of this, here's a definition of that, here's that. And let me tell you about definitions. They do not have to correspond to any reality, as long as they are useful in understanding some phenomenon. That's the whole thing about science. Science does not have to deal with reality. Does not have to deal with a reality. Astronomy cannot prove anything. No one's been out there and touched a star. No one can, but they can infer. And then once you accept that definition, then you have a science called astronomy. Brothers and sisters got astrology. What sign are you? Now, I knew that was some reason we couldn't get.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Back at it again. You know what's going on, Raw. And I'm gonna be honest, I tried not to come back on here until Wednesday, but I was trying to do my work. I couldn't focus. So I'm like, let me just come on here for a little while because I want to get back. I want to I'm definitely going to finish with the history lesson stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So once I finish one part of it, then I'll be able to do the video part of it. So I'm like, let me just come on here and kick it with y'all for a minute. And if anybody want to come on here, you definitely welcome to come on here to say whatever you want to say. In the art of miseducation, we are definitely miseducated as a people. We, like my brother said, we know what the size of people, basketball player shoe size is, but we don't somehow figure out how to do what we know must be done. And I know a lot of people be like, yo, this person is educated, this person is educated, that just, and I'm not saying that they aren't, learned in whatever it is that they're learned in. But, a lot of times we are so miseducated about who and what we are that we don't want to even, deal with the truth, And let me start going in so I'm not on here super long. And by the way, shouts out to Raw in the building. I appreciate you for coming through, Raw. And like I said, yeah, that it might not be a lot on this one because I ain't saying nothing crazy, but I don't think I'm going to say nothing crazy. I don't know. I might, who knows. But yeah, because I want to use some of these instances to kind of talk about history, because like this is one of the things that kind of like it gets on my nerves when I hear Black people talking. It's just that we don't know enough about whatever to even defend ourselves intellectually, and we let so many people get away with so much nonsense, and I wouldn't care what they say or what they think. It's just our responses and our lack of knowledge that really hurts us, because we keep doing the same thing over. And you know me, I do this whole I'm gonna start with the history part of it, So now listen to this brother here on this, and I'm only talking about this so we can talk about the correct history on here today.
Well, it makes sense. The first slave owner, and the word slave itself, it derives from Slavic. That's not Black people. Slavic people aren't Black. The word slave came from Slavic. And in America, a lot of Black owners.
Let me see how he says something.
Roll that cool footage.
Well, it makes sense. The first slave owner, and the word slave itself, it derives from Slavic. That's not Black people. Slavic people aren't Black. The word slave came from Slavic. And in America, a lot of Black owners had slaves.
Right, so that's the first thing. He just goes with whatever talking points that's out there, with the Slavic thing and all of that nonsense, Like, yeah, it's white on white crime. We know about it. They'll kill each other because, like, one of them have freckles and red hair. That's just, like, European culture, you understand? But, so he's about to say, how a lot of Black people owned other Black people.
And in America, a lot of Black owners had slaves. The first slave owner was a Black man, Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson.
This fool didn't even know the man's name, is Anthony Johnson, right?
Had slaves. The first slave owner was a Black man, Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson, he was the first Black slave owner in America, and the first slave owner because he had 3 indentured servants. 2 of them were white and 1 of them was Black, and he argued with Congress, since the Black man owed a debt that he made up, that he still had the right to own them, and they approved it. That was the start of slavery in America through a Black man, and white slaves were cheaper than Black. So
now, first of all, this fool then got the whole story mixed up. He mixed 2 different stories up, and this is what I'm saying. I know this fool is just saying this, but like, one of the things I was disappointed about is how much that I did not know about history, And so, but first and foremost, the first slave owner, they love to say the brother Anthony Johnson was the first slave owner in America, which is completely not true, you know. All right. Now, I now this brother, let me see. All right, now I can't. I'm not gonna play a lot of this, brother. So you know, this is one of the common thing. Oh yeah, the first slave owner in quote unquote what would become America was a black dude. You know,
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars?
bad.
Anthony Johnson on black people has come along the way. Although Juneteenth is not ish, there will inevitably be an all lives mattering of the movement. Black indentured servant. Instead, the man told Kaser he was extending his time. Kaser left and became employed by a white man by the name of Robert Parker.
Okay.
The man
Now this is I thought it was
man told Kaser he was extending his time. Kaser.
All right. Let me see. I'm gonna just tell y'all because I'm not gonna play all of this because he take a long time to tell the story. Right now, this brother in like 16 something, like 1654 or something like that. That's when the case happened, right? But he had you know, all type of indentured servants, right? He came over here supposedly as one of the first black people to come over here when they talk about this whole 1619, 1621 thing, when they was like, yo, something about, you know, like, you know, so in 1621, like he was supposed to be one of the brothers that came over here, was an indentured servant, was supposedly given all of this land and stuff, and well, not given this land, but he did his indenture and then bought his land, and so he had white and black slaves, you know, so or indentured servants at the time, you know, and so this brother, like he had this dude named like John Caesar, let's just call him Caesar. It's like Casser or Caesar or something like that, and that brother, his indentured servant was up. And so his neighbor, who was a white dude, told him just leave, you know what I'm saying? So the brother sued the neighbor and the black dude. And of course, nothing happened to the white dude, but they said, well, the black dude has to serve for like another 7 years or something. So they qualified it as the first slave owner. But what they always leave out is when this brother died, right? This is when everything, because like for like maybe 10, 15 years, maybe. It was a little bit different, a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Europeans are Europeans, you know, so don't get me wrong. But like there was like a window where like it was an indentured kind of thing, right? And so what they always leave out is by the time that he died, right, he had to move from Virginia to Maryland because the laws had got so bad that he couldn't own property in Virginia by then. And he definitely couldn't own quote unquote slaves. And then after he died, that same neighbor, right, ended up getting his slaves because, hey, he was a Negro and shouldn't have had slaves anyway, right? See, they leave that whole thing out of it, you know, when they start you know, talking about this dude. So by the time he died, the whole thing had changed. And then they also leave out he wasn't the first, you know, because they go by the British, and the British was in like Virginia, but the Pilgrims, who it's hard to say they're the criminals because they all are, you know, but they came to like the northern areas like Pennsylvania and all that. They had legalized selling children by 16, like they had legalized selling children by 1630, I think. Right, so the Pilgrims in Pennsylvania had already legalized selling children, so it wouldn't have been the first, you know. But they always leave that part, those things out of that, you know.
But it's still not legitimizing slavery. It's wrong. The point is, you know the history.
Yeah, I know the history, and it's simply.
I mean, most Roman slaves were not African; they were German.
Yeah, it's just business. It's no different than us having. You know how good your 18-wheeler is compared to that, or just your farm equipment or your plow or your hose. It was just a business, and white slaves were cheaper. If you look back at the scholars back then, they were saying how white slaves couldn't even hold the dumbbells or the bells. That
right. Why were white slaves cheaper? Because originally they tried to use, you know, but they can't be in the sun, you know, which we know today. There was no sunscreen back then, right? and they could not be in the sun. They could not do these things, right? I know people like, you know, let's just say, oh, because we'll get to that, right? But they could not do these things. So like, who the hell want a damn white indentured servant? Because you remember the dude came on here trying to show some little Irish boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, they were the damn overseers, and oftentimes the most violent ones out of all of them, you know. And of course, you know, Europeans is European culture, right? Now he said, oh yeah, it's just like, you know, looking at something as a remote control or something, you know what I'm saying? Now, for us to get anywhere, you know, maybe you have to start adopting some of that mentality. Like, listen, they may not be human, you know what I'm saying? They may be something different from you, but that's not there nor there.
The hate. All right.
What's going on, Cassandra? I'm just talking about some you know, history stuff real quick.
Last out in the sun as much as blacks, so the blacks cost it more. And it also fights the propaganda narrative that there was a massive majority of blacks being enslaved. They can't even.
You ought to make a documentary.
Right. So, and first of all, I forgot to show y'all this. This was before that. That case was in 1654. So that's not even true, right? The first slave owner, of course, was like a British white dude in Virginia. You know, we already know the other ones was already doing it, but was a dude named John Punch. You know, let me see.
Could become free, and let's also say that both were treated real bad. To be an indentured servant in this country meant.
See, this is like the first things that I learned, you know, like when I was like listening to their talking points, and then I always would like troll them and like to get myself sharper and debate them to learn my history. These were some of the first talking points, you know, and then I always thought like, well, what happened in between all of these things? So that's when I went through all of history. But even in this case with John Punch, it was a white dude named Hugh Gwyneth or something like that. Like H-U, here it is, Gwyn. All right, this was the case in 1640 where 3 ran away. One was like a Scotsman and one was like a Irish or something. And then the black one. And the other ones got like 2 years indentured servants, and the black dude was enslaved for life for running away. The first time, well, I can't say the first time, but their course was just starting. So it might have been the first time in their courts that you have been discriminated against, and it's been like never caught up since then, you know, where the black dude got life and the white dude's got 2 years, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happened in this particular case, you know. But they was already justifying selling. Yo, what's going on, my brother Bakari? All right.
I've thought about that. Not lessening black slavery was terrible.
Yeah.
Transatlantic was terrible. But if you go back, Germany didn't, Austrian-Hungarian Empire until 1860 free the slaves. Same thing in Russia. They were white slaves. They owned them.
Yes.
Yeah, white on white crime, bro. Like they would kill each other because they got like freckles and stuff.
Everywhere.
Yes. It's completely business, and they've just made it seem like it was an American problem. We're the first to flee cattle slavery. But it was.
And let me know if y'all want to come on here. But like I said, I want to show y'all something else after this. But I did want to talk about something about history and stuff like that real quick. I have to play some of this, so I'm gonna skip the rest of that. You know, I said some of the things I wanted to say about that because a lot of us are just ignorant about our history and all of that. Now listen to this chick here, right? She says, I should have pulled that up, and I guess I'll pull it up at the end. But she says that black people were better off in slavery because we learned skills in slavery. Thank God thank God for slavery because we'd be in Africa praying to a tree pretty much, right? And what I want you to see is like where this talking point even comes from. You know what I'm saying?
70.
And it's just crazy because it just came out 11 hours ago. So I was like, I took it as a sign. You know what I'm saying? And this is an old video, but dude just put it up. I just saw it from like 11 hours ago. And I was like, that's crazy, you know. So I just felt that it was a sign that I had to play this.
50% of Americans believe that children in schools should be taught to feel proud of their country. If 57% of the nation believes that institutional racism is real, shouldn't we teach about that as well?
Well, I think it's up to a teacher's discretion, honestly, in the classroom. And this is one of the side effects, I think, of the COVID pandemic, right? You had a lot of people that were able to see exactly what the curriculum was in each school because so many kids were learning virtually at home. And so I think it was a good thing, right? Now, I do believe that teachers probably should teach the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think that's what they're trying to do in Florida. I have to say, I'm on Governor Ron DeSantis' side here. I know people are probably not shocked to hear that, but I do believe that we should be teaching some of the good parts that came out of slavery. And
good parts of slavery, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because apparently we was dumb as hell sitting in front of a tree. And by the way, it was probably the tree gave us shade and fruit and all type of stuff, or probably, you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Say that is because there are some people that were born into slavery and they were able to take those skills that they learned and went on to be entrepreneurs. There were some of the inventions that we have today.
So a slave got to be a blacksmith, and sometimes they even let them work and let them keep like 20% of the money that they made, you know, like the slaves made money. Did you know that? You know, so yeah, so they I guess blacksmithing. I'm not sure what we particularly learned, you know what I'm saying? I guess we were just all sleeping outside, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Just chilling. But you know, let's go back to the good parts of slavery, you know.
Like the folding chair with the bookcase in the back.
Oh, yeah, the folding chair. I don't think she knew about the Alabama thing yet. So that's one good. We definitely would not have created a folding chair if it wasn't for Europeans, y'all. So, but would we have needed them is the question.
Entrepreneurs. There were some of the inventions that we have today, like the folding chair with the.
Yeah, it provides a whole bunch of stuff, you know. That you can actually touch it, you know what I'm saying? I see trees every day, man.
Bookcase in the back that was invented by a man named Alexander, who was living in Lynchburg, Virginia. He was born into slavery, but he knew that there was a need there because of the church.
There was what do you say, bookcases, or she said something?
And went on to be entrepreneurs. There were some of the inventions that we have today, like the folding chair with the bookcase in the back that was invented by a man named Alexander, who was living in Lynchburg, Virginia. He was born into slavery, but he knew that there was a need there because of the church that he attended. Had they not been slaves, no, they would not have learned those skills. But of course, I am not saying that slavery was a job program. That's not what I'm saying.
You wouldn't have had chairs if you wouldn't have got kidnapped and enslaved. Thank God, right?
Okay.
Probably because we respect trees. Maybe that's the thing. We respect trees and stuff like that. I know my brother said we was using iron, but I'm not sure. I'm lost. I don't know what we learned.
I get that, but here's my concern with that. If I tell the story of American slavery in the abstract, in a vacuum, sure, right? We could talk about all the nuances of it.
We could.
But this is a country that has historically whitewashed slavery. This is a country that consistently pretends.
By the way, this whole talking point, like, you know, is one of Ron DeSantis. Well, it's not from him. It's just a thing he repeated. Because, you know, they put in textbooks and stuff like that. Like, oh, we was migrants that came over here and learned skills because that's what slavery was. It was. And by the way, whatever skills, if I learned them, I would rather not have those skills and go back to whatever the hell we was doing and see how far we had advanced. I would say, okay, those skills, you got them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't learn them, but these things I did learn. You know what I'm saying?
That bad things did not happen. You add to that the fact that there's been a movement around the country for decades to change textbooks, to not even often talk about slavery as slavery, but to talk about it as immigration, to talk about it as a jobs program and other things that you're not doing, but many other people have done. So against that backdrop, if we then encourage teachers or encourage curriculum.
Yeah, what backdrop it is, you know what I'm saying? It's wrong. It's not even accurate to say that. And it's saying, thank God for slavery, or we be in Africa praying to a tree.
designers to focus on the good that came out of slavery, it becomes another way to sort of whitewash or to understate just how severe an impact slavery had. We are still to this day harmed by slavery. We still to this day pay an economic and social and cultural debt to what happened to us in slavery. So if all that stuff is true, then a textbook spending time focusing on the fact that some people got some skills out of it, to me, it's time we could spend talking about the need for reparations. It's time we could spend talking about the lingering impact of slavery. It's time we could spend talking about the people who entered slavery with skills and who were actually selected for their skill sets on the continent of Africa. We can talk about all that stuff in a finite amount of time rather than talking about a few people who were blacksmiths who were able to get jobs when, in fact, there's so many laws and programs stop people from getting access to.
Oh, yeah, let me say this. Gabriel Prosser was a blacksmith, and so he made a bunch of weapons for black people, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that was one thing, you know what I'm saying? He made a black, but would you have needed those blacksmiths if you had been kidnapped? That's the question, I guess. Or those weapons, I mean.
Jobs,
well, I guess so,
freedom,
yeah.
to justice, to food, clothing, shelter, equality, all that stuff, even after so-called emancipation.
Yeah, well, Mark, look, I still believe you teach the good, the bad, and the ugly. You teach all of it. And so I do have to ask you, without slavery in this country, which, again, you had blacks purchasing blacks, you had blacks selling blacks, you had Native Americans purchasing blacks, you had blacks purchasing Native Americans. It goes on and on and on. And I think that...
And no disrespect to anybody, right? But you have black people right now that'll be like, yo, I'm like Cherokee, but like they was like purchasing them, right? And just like the dude, I guess I left that part out when he was saying that, like, you ever notice like all of them, they'd be like in South Carolina or in somewhere, because in most states, if a black person in Virginia, for example, if you were quote unquote free, you had to leave the state within a year, you know what I'm saying, or be re-enslaved. You can be in the state, right? And then there was other states where even if you were free, you could not own property at all, you know what I'm saying? That's why you see like the black people who own black people in South Carolina. And even though some people don't want to even talk about this part, a lot of them were the mulatto children of the slave owners who happened to be accepted by the slave owning father, which, they enslaved their own children. But in those cases, like William Ellison was a mulatto dude who was like, who they always bring up, like black people own black people. That dude was actually like a mulatto dude, you know what I'm saying, who was on his other side, you know what I'm saying? He was like, especially back then, you know what I'm saying? They were, of course, they're going to get away from that whole side of it, right? And then they leave out about how most people was, if they could buy their own freedom, right? So I don't know how that works, if that counted or not, if they own it themselves works, but their loved ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I hear crazy stories. Like one story I heard about a woman who bought her husband's freedom or whatever. And one day they got into an argument and she threatened to sell him. And she did sell him to the neighbor, right? Because she just got so mad, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I'm gonna sell you up the river. That's what they say. That's where that expression come from. I'm gonna sell you up the river. She was like, she just got so mad, she sold him to the neighbor. And then when it was time, and then when she calmed down and tried to go buy him back, the neighbor who was white, wouldn't sell the dude back and then sold him into slavery. And then another one I heard was like, this spot, like a father was a slave and the mother bought him. And, they had a family. And then when the child got older, when he got to a certain age, he didn't want to be disciplined. And so he used to threaten to sell him up the river. And then they was like, he actually sold his father like down to like New Orleans or something like that, or one of the biggest slave markets. So like, that's a lot of the crazy stories that you'll hear if you actually look into it. It was like regular people, and then they were going through regular things. And then imagine that your husband or wife you arguing with own you, and so like, I'm gonna sell your ass, But they leave out all of that, how most of them had like their family members. And a lot of the ones that they even qualify as having multiple was actually like mulattoes. And then you have your clones as usual, you know what I'm saying? but it was hard for them because they was Negroes. You know what I'm saying? That's why even clones don't want to go back to a certain time, because it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It still doesn't matter, but you know.
Conversation around reparations does get very complicated, and I know that there are a lot of people that advocate for that. But beyond that, I have to ask you,
what's complicated about it?
Where would you be today without slavery?
That's a good question for y'all. Where would we be today without slavery? That's a great question.
That's a great question. That's what we call one of those counterfactual hypotheticals.
No, I was like, oh, y'all can answer that question. Where would we be without slavery today? I know I wouldn't be speaking this backwards ass, trivial ass language. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Right? It's hard for me to tell you where I'd be without slavery because our entire history was interrupted by it. But Black people, or African people, more importantly, had empires. We had civilizations. We had governments. We had.
By the way, and I mean, those of you who would agree with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you won't agree with that part. Well, where would we be without slavery? But you don't even like. That's where these talking points. Like nothing is original or new. That's how you can clock somebody when they say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that anybody follows anything in particular, but you know where certain talking points come from. And if you trace that back, even if they may not know it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just factually inaccurate. The same way to say, oh, well, you was just migrants when you're talking about kidnapping. And then you wonder why we have such a diluted remembrance of history, because now probably soon we're going to be starting to say slavery wasn't that bad. It was, people always talk about the Irish were slaves. No, the hell they wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Order. We had laws. Were we perfect? No society, no civilization is perfect. But the question, where will we be without slavery, would imply or suggest to people that somehow we have benefited from the enterprise of slavery, or that somehow in the aftermath of slavery we're better off than we otherwise would have been. And there's absolutely no evidence to believe.
You know how to drive a forklift now, so you're good. You know what I'm saying? You have definitely benefited, Negro. You know how to drive a forklift. What you talking about? You wouldn't be driving no forklift over in Africa. You know what I'm saying?
Believe that African people were better after interacting with enslavers, after interacting with the European colonists. There's no evidence of that. So I don't know where we'd be without slavery, but I'm certainly sure it's better than where we would otherwise be.
Yeah, see, and I would counter that personally with what we see on the continent of Africa today. I mean, honestly, you talked about some people having, some of the kingdoms and being on the hierarchy in Africa.
You see that what's going on in Africa today is what we would be like had we not got kidnapped from Africa in the first place. Because of course we had no skills when we was over there. So what was we doing? We was just sitting in front of trees all day anyway. So we see what the results would have been. It's not like we knew how to build our own houses or, buildings or, structures or whatever you may think. We didn't know how to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? We learned all of these carpentry and blacksmithing and stuff like that from them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you taught them how to use soap and stuff, or maybe we didn't do that. I don't know.
In different countries in Africa, I'm sure, but those weren't the people that were being sold into slavery. See, so it's like it's so hard to understand.
But Kim, where in Africa? I want you to be a little more specific. Where in Africa can we point to and see any kind of problem, any kind of disruption that hasn't been touched or interrupted by Europe?
You're kidding, right? Okay, so my family is from both.
Name a country that hasn't been. You're saying Nigeria and Cameroon haven't been affected by Europe? That's your argument?
There's many countries in Africa that did not have Europeans colonize it, and they're still down today. Look at the Congo, for one thing. We don't talk enough about the Congo and what they're dealing with.
The Congo wasn't colonized or whatever. I don't really like saying that, but it is what they wasn't those thugs didn't go in there slaughtering and raping and murdering and kidnapping people. That's what it was, and taking their stuff, what I'm saying, and stealing from them. I'm not sure about by the way, this is another thing about King Leopold, because I try to separate Leopold as a freak of nature, but looking at all of them, yeah, there's a whole lot of Leopold in a lot of them, and a whole lot of, and even more Leopold and even more of them.
Especially when it comes to China and everybody that is going into their country to extract cobalt and lithium and all these things that we want.
She's well, she was running for office. She lost, but I think she's gonna try to run again, I think.
But here in America to make us feel good with electric vehicles. So if we want to go down that road, we can go down that road, okay? But at the same time, not every country was invaded by Europeans that then put colonization on.
Right, Rob, but you know, according to them, we was just sitting in front of trees all day, praying to it. You know what I'm saying? And we actually was getting stuff from the tree, by the way. You know, we was getting like fruit and like all the stuff that y'all was naming. We was getting stuff, even though we was just probably sitting in front of the tree because we know how to do nothing else, yo.
On their culture and their people, that what did not happen everywhere. But I can tell you right now in Cameroon, you have a situation where you have people running. Go ahead.
Continue. Finish your thought.
Right now. We have tribes in Cameroon right now that are trying to run from the military, run from the government, and it is black on black in Cameroon. This is what's happening across Africa. I'm not saying you being a slave from a family of slavery is great. I'm not saying it for myself either. But you can't sit here and say that your life would have been better without slavery, because we just don't know. We can look back onto the continent of Africa today, and we can say that there are a lot of places where people are leaving, seeking refuge to come here in America, because this is the land of opportunity.
So just real quick, I have to take a break. You're familiar with Zaire, right? The country?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Do you know what that's called now?
What is it called now?
Yeah, Congo. So the country you're saying wasn't affected by Europe, or it was affected by Europe because it was colonized. It's only now being called Congo again. You also, right? My point is
being in Nigeria.
Okay, so you're graduating from high school. Let's take a best case scenario.
All right, my bad.
There are many people today mad at the Obama administration for
that you see much of this mess emerge. But let's move on, because there's another conversation I want to have right now, and that is affirmative action. As you well know, and many people out there well know, the Supreme Court basically ended race-conscious admissions programs at Harvard and UNC.
Really quickly, I did want to add that colonization did have issues in Africa. One of them being in Nigeria. There are many people today mad at the Obama administration for bringing in a lot of the LGBTQ ideologies into their country. So
the first colonization of Africa was the Obamas bringing LGBT, whatever. By the way, most of these slave owners, guess what they were? They was like faggots raping little boys. And if you think this, I'm wrong for calling them that for raping little boys, I'm wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and say something.
I will agree with you there. There has been a lot of colonization even after slavery.
Yeah, but think about it. Even Ethiopians think they Arabs. You know what I'm saying? They might damn be by this point. You know what I'm saying? We sick every damn where. I don't know what the hell is going on.
When it comes to affirmative action,
and we really think it was good because we wouldn't know nothing without white. We wouldn't know nothing without white people. Do y'all get that?
I think we had this discussion. We don't need Uncle Tom.
Okay, yeah, they asked her about. They call her
the highest record of homicides and shootings on the books since we've done such, and so I don't think that was the best. We can't govern that way. I see when it talks about Black Republicans, I know I get called names all the time, like a sellout or a traitor and things like that. And so I think that does, make some Black voters feel as though that they don't identify with the party because they don't see themselves as something as negative as an Uncle Tom.
Why do you think you get that kind of response, though, when people call you a sellout? And here's why I say that. There's people like Colin Powell who, got a little bit of that. For the most part, people didn't say that about Colin Powell. There's people like Michael Steele, who even before his MSNBC time, I know that.
Yeah, but see, consider that's what the thing, they literally had to go on the books and make laws. Well, they just did it anyway. It wasn't the laws, it was the murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you knew how to read, they would kill you, but if you knew about plants, they would kill you because they were so scared because black people was also poisoning. They was trusting black people to make their food. You think they wasn't poisoning their ass? You know what I'm saying? So they would make everything except worshiping them and making them money illegal. You know what I'm saying? That's why they wouldn't let free black people either on. Why you think they had to create their own societies and all of this stuff? You know, and they had to move to certain places in the country because that's just how it was, you know. And so they literally made it, or they killed you for knowing stuff, you know, other than what it took to make them money. You know what I'm saying? And would kill you if you thought that you could make money for yourself and not give it to them, you know. But anyway,
He's kind of like a Democrat
you got
now,
Black
TV,
Megas.
basically. But even before that, there's a way that he didn't get that. But then there's people like you who sometimes get that kind of criticism. Do you think it's anything to do with the message? Do you think it's anything to do with the approach, or is it purely ideological?
So he asking her, oh yeah, why do you think people call you a clone?
Well, I think sometimes people do confuse me with, and I will say, Candace Owens. I've never once said that Black people are brainwashed or on a Democrat plantation. And so I don't think that those terms are useful when trying to persuade voters. And I think some people just put us in the same box. And so I will say that there are many people that use language that is really not, doesn't positively impact the Black community. But I say when it comes to me, honestly, I stand 10 tones down in my stances. I think some people look at, like you said, Michael Steele. I mean, here's a guy, like you said, he could be considered basically a Democrat on TV. This is a guy that wasn't really solid in his stances as a Republican, right? He could be swayed either way. It depends on where the dollars are flowing for him. And so for me, I think people look at it and say, okay, well, she supported President Trump. The media tells us that Trump is racist, and because he's a Republican and we think he's all about white supremacy, we believe that this young lady, endorsed by Trump, is also a sellout. But really, if they followed me on social media, if they got to know me, got to hear what I said on my radio show, I think a lot of them would agree with some of my points.
Okay. Well, you just heard some of her points. Okay. All right, I'm going to get out of here.
Now, more than any video I've ever made in my whole, if you add up all my videos together, I ain't got that many. Of you, how would you respond to that? But a cynical read of this might be, well, she was running for Congress, but you lost by a large amount. I think you got like 20-some% of the vote, and that your profile is one of a Republican, a Black Republican, who goes over there because the line is shorter. You can get all the way to the RNC.
Yeah, he definitely says a bunch of suspect stuff. You know, everything he particularly talks about now is about like the Arabs and all of that stuff. You know, I definitely don't agree, but you know, I had to play this one because she said, you know, we was better off enslaved because we learned skills. You know, so anyway, I wanted y'all to see this, yo. Check this out, y'all. Look at this, right? So the dude that killed oh man, damn, there's been so many, you know, Ahmaud Arbery, they just raised like $40,000 like the other day, you know what I'm saying? And this goes back to another thing that we were talking about, you know, they're not gonna be like, yo, well, you're this, you're that. They put up just that quick $40,000, $50,000, and they was trying to get $30,000, but they raised, I'm not gonna click on it because it's gonna make the computer freeze. So I wish I could like just click on it and just read it instead of whatever, but it said it raised nearly $50,000, exceeding its $30,000 goal. Oh no, that's another thing, you know, I'm sorry. But no, they raised $40,000. I'm sorry. But you know, that's what we're talking about. You know, we have Black people with schools and like legit, you know, like and I'm not saying you got to trust everybody, but I'm sure you trust somebody. And the thing is, are we out there doing, you know, what we're supposed to do? But you know, they raised all this money quite easily, you know.
Child, basically. You get money if you are connected to the family of one.
I started to send this to you because, like, you see that they raised $40,000. They ain't be like, "Oh, you do what you did." Hell, dude killed some damn body. You know what I'm saying? So, are you willing to protect your own this way, especially those who is willing to go out and do something about it, you know?
One who did so. Put it up full mass. Now, this is wild, but the wife and mother, okay, of Ahmaud Arbery's killers fundraises $40,000. I have to remind you of the incident.
We're not going to do that, though. Okay.
I need to remind you, launched a website, Greg and Travis McMichael, respectively, has launched a website countering, quote, media-driven narratives about her convicted family members.
And they be on camera doing this stuff. And no matter how much evidence it is, hell, black people will be like, oh, the black man. Because that's all I remember comedians from back in the day when I was like younger and stuff. Like they would be like, we all know OJ did. I don't know nothing. Like the older I got and the more I found out, like it was into some suspect stuff, man. And especially what y'all said, somebody else confessed to it, you know.
And presenting her account of what happened the day the young Ahmaud Arbery was killed. The McMichaels are serving life sentences in prison. They've been convicted by a jury of their peers. They had due process. Ahmaud Arbery had no due process. They took it away, but they had due process. They're in prison because a jury convicted them. The McMichaels are currently in the process of appealing their
all right, so y'all see that they got they were able to raise 40,000. Now the people that the people that we all agree on. So I don't want to hear like, oh, we not doing this, because it's people that we all agree on. I know everybody used like John Henry Clark, for example, a black scholar who dedicated his whole life to that, and then we didn't take care of it. But it's so many to name. Like hell, as Matt, like, you know, of course I'm not caping for the brother, but like I'm not even gonna say that. But I would say, as much as we get mad at people for saying something, are we going to take care of our own for the people who actually do something? You know what I'm saying? Are we going, if somebody put in work, are we going to pay for their lawyer, their bill, whatever the case may be? Or are we going to go up there and back them up? You know what I'm saying? Depending on how far it go. Or are we going to like put money behind the young sisters or brothers who actually are doing something, whether they got schools or something that we always complain about and say that we need? You know, are we going to put, you know, that same energy behind it? You know, because until then we are definitely in trouble. Yeah, but we've been definitely taught to always find the flaw. Like everybody in the world has been taught to find the flaw, lie, the whatever it may be within the black person, and just accept whatever everybody else say, but especially Europeans. And I'm not saying we all are like that, but obviously we wouldn't be in a situation if it wasn't so many of us that was like that, because if it was enough, then we wouldn't even be here. But anyway, going back to what that girl was just saying, I wanted to play just some of this real quick, because
reportedly want to dramatically change the government's interpretation of civil rights era laws to focus on anti-white racism rather than discrimination against people of color. That is according to exclusive reporting from Axios. That says the focus would range from decades-old policies aimed at giving minorities economic opportunities to more recent programs that began in response to the pandemic and the killing of George Floyd. A Trump campaign spokesman told Axios as President Trump has said all staff, offices, and initiatives connected to Biden's un-American policy will be immediately terminated. And so, Rev?
yeah, because guess what? They're all white nationalists, you know what I'm saying? Now people of color include, like, you know, like the white gay dudes and the white bitches and all of that, you know, and the shysters, right? Because that's who it is, you know. We already know. But like Yeah, you understand, like, yeah, of course they're going to protect their nation because that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to sit up there and go against yourself and make excuses and justify the crimes against you. You know what I'm saying? Especially like just because you're mad at other black people, it don't like. Why do you think we are the way the hell that we are? You think it just happened to be that way? I know, like, what happened between us sitting in front of that tree and where we are now? You know what I'm saying? Hell, I wish I could go back to the tree. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Help us out here. I mean, we should believe him, and among many other things.
All right, I guess I said. But anyway, let me, because I played a little bit of this. I didn't play the other part of this because like he's like the un-American policy. But at one point, have we ever been like Americans though? I missed that year. Like, can you tell me? Was it like 2008? You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not sure what other year it could be. 2008. I'm not sure what year we became Americans. So you tell me.
$70 million.
U.S. cities dealing with
$1 million. Y'all won't even put $1 million in one neighborhood. $1 million in one neighborhood.
Chicago is one of several major U.S. cities dealing with a surge of migrants. The city has spent more than $300 million to tend to more than 38,000 immigrants, from healthcare to housing and education. The funds have moved fast, and it's leading to frustration in the city's minority community.
At $300 million. $300 million. That's a lot of money. And what I want us to realize is like, yo, we should be like setting everything on fire because they take our tax money right now. We should be like pissed off that they take our free. We should have been pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Should have been before this, you know? Hell, because when you look at our community, hell, like we should be pissed off when they don't. I don't know about y'all areas, but like even when it snows, you know what I'm saying? They don't even put the salt and none of that over here. You know what I'm saying? But they damn sure take your tax money. How the hell I owe you money for working? Like, how the hell aren't you mad about that? Like, I'll be like asking my family that, like, how aren't you mad about that? Like, oh yeah, well I am, but that's just is what it is. Uncle Sam gonna take. Like, what? Like, we just like that resigned to like give up. Anyway.
Black Chicagoans say their neighborhoods are in decay and have been for decades with little help from the city. But they note money is flowing and flowing quickly for the migrant crisis. They point to what they see as a symbol of the government's indifference. The city closed Wadsworth Elementary more than a decade ago, a school that served a largely Black neighborhood. Last year, Chicago reopened it to shelter hundreds of migrants, and the city did not seek community input.
There's homelessness and houselessness that we're facing in those neighborhoods, violent crimes at a high rate. And
now understand this though, right? This is in particular Republican propaganda, right? And the thing about this is it is like the things they say about the Democrats is true. The problem is what they say about them is also true. You know what I'm saying? They both pieces of ish, you know what I'm saying? And neither give a damn, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like one way or another, you know what I'm saying? You get the anti-you stuff in your face or behind your back, whatever you want, you know what I'm saying? And this here in particular is Republican propaganda, you know what I'm saying? How do I know? Because I've seen other things, so I do know this, you know. But I want you to understand that because that's just the way that they do this, that they do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like what her saying earlier, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know that we are about Obama. We ain't gonna be for Obama, but we know Obama wasn't the first colonization of Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
Money is being found for those that are just getting here. But what about those who have been living in underappreciated properties, undervalued living circumstances, neighborhoods that have been stripped of banks, stripped of grocery stores, stripped of quality education? And all of a sudden, there is a group that is coming in and it's causing animosity between the citizens and the new generation of people that are coming in.
Tensions boiled over at a city council meeting earlier.
Now, I intentionally played this one because the dude was on some like clone stuff too. I know where he was, so
This week after a proposal to spend $70 million more on the migrant crisis.
We need that money in my neighborhood. We need that on my block. That woman should not be at Cook County Jail because she's grieving over a random.
See, and you know, like I said, I played this sister before. She had the "Make America Great Again" thing, but they also, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Y'all gotta watch how y'all use these like talking points, like we the most violent or whatever. Because if we were half as violent as people make us out to be, we wouldn't be here right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like what he say. Oh well, like the black woman said. Oh, I don't know if she black or not. I'll be honest with you, but she was talking about like, oh well, since the Republicans, the Democrats, now look at all of these high crime rates and all of these. But if you actually look at the murder statistics, you know what I'm saying, it is the white, they would kill each other because they have red hair and freckles, you know what I'm saying? So if you look at the actual statistics, like if you go through the top 10, like Chicago is not even on there. And again, I thought Chicago was so damn violent anyway. Why would anybody want to try to move into the black area of Chicago that we've been hearing all the time that we all are thugs because of what goes on in like a 3-block radius in Chicago? But when I say people, when I talk to people from Chicago, they say it's outsiders coming in, and a lot of times it be non-black people who be wearing these masks that look like black people, you know what I'm saying, who be doing these shootings, and then people like, no, black people doing it. Like, well, so why in the hell is the damn migrants in there after all this time? Anyway.
Act of violence that caused her to lose her child in front of her face when the city of Chicago has millions upon millions of dollars to give to people who ain't paid a dime into the tax base.
Y'all whittling us out.
Right, anyway, we already talked about that, so I'm gonna
my love of
go through the rest. Matter of fact,
first one child is that
forget the rest of this stuff. Forget the rest of this stuff. I want to play something else, right? I'm gonna put the link in. And if somebody come on here, we ain't gonna be on here long or whatever. So I kind of hope nobody come on here. But if you can come on here if you want to say something. But I want to show one other part because I probably shouldn't show y'all this, but I have to. And I know my brother is probably gone because me and my brother Bakari had this conversation. All right, if it come up, of course it's gonna freeze up now. So yeah, if y'all do come up, I'm definitely not gonna be on here hella long. Yo, now I was tripping, right? Because I know how we always talk about. Now y'all better say this, right? Because when I saw this here, I was like, yo, this junk looks like a damn man. I know we would say that, you know, we would jump on the thing and say another black person looks like a man or whatnot. But I was like, yo, if I ever seen a man looking person, I was like, I thought it was a man for a second. You know what I'm saying? It's not even going to show. It's probably taking so long to even pull it up because it might not even do it. I don't know. Let me see. Yo, now tell me this don't look like a freaking man, you know what I'm saying? Um, because I know how we always be like, yo, are you kidding? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a dude looking, that looks like a dude if you ask me. So we gonna have to check, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so everybody got since this white bitch got in there, like it's crazy. You see black men offering. It's triggered me. I'm not gonna lie, because like so many black men come to me talk about some damn white girl in basketball. Though a
Really do
white girl
appreciate that, guys.
is
Let's check out
the
these clips
damn
right
best in basket. It just shows how pitiful black people is, But I want to play this other part first, right? Because I know y'all know that Gayle King and Charles Barkley had a show, and that show got canceled already. I guess y'all wasn't supporting them, but they was talking to Don Staley, and she say some wild stuff too. I get it, but like y'all gonna have to be on code at some point or another. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna have to put aside if y'all black first, or if y'all or y'all gonna have to tell me what y'all are first. I'm black only. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all something else first, y'all gonna have to tell me now, because y'all awfully go after black people awfully quick, right? And the point is,
Happy for you guys, Coach Say. I'm so happy. The game was such a good game. It was so close at times, and in the end, you guys pulled it out. But was there ever a point during the game when you were worried? Because I got worried. We were all cheering for Iowa, of course, and Caitlin Clark. But there's so many people, you've got their hearts. Was there ever?
now this little damn Great White Hope, there's so many black people, and they was mad because they said, oh, while she won and had the perfect season and all of that stuff, I mean, she still is a black woman and is going to face black woman stuff. And as much as I disagree with the stuff that she says, but she doesn't realize that either, I guess, because she just as sick as everybody else, But now, and this fool here is definitely sick too.
Gayle King's supposed to be somebody that's big in the journalism space, right? And I don't consider her black media. Y'all give her all these passes because she fuck with she's Oprah friend. I don't give a fuck who friend she is. They don't do nothing for nobody. But you cannot demean Dawn Staley like that. You talking to her about winning the championship, about going undefeated, and you have the nerve to get on there and say, well, we was rooting for Caitlin Clark and you broke everybody's hearts. Who is we? Who is we?
A lot of black men was rooting for this damn white girl and argued up and down about this damn white girl. Now, I had to play this because it triggered me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sick of black men caping for white. They the most dangerous. They can infiltrate anything. Damn football team, a male football team at a HBCU, freaking basketball. They'd be the greatest at that. But listen to this brother here. And as much as cool stuff that this brother say, this is the thing that got him mad. You know what I'm saying?
Video, man, as Antonio Brown has found himself in some serious trouble right now, man. And this guy, I've told you guys, this
bitch is a 2-time loser. Well, I don't know. Well, she lost all of her life, I'm pretty sure. So she's an unlimited time loser. But what makes me mad, because I don't give a damn about this damn white girl. She's a loser. That's what happens to the Great White Hope. What pisses me off is all of the black men arguing me down for this damn man looking white bitch. You know what I'm saying? She looks like a dude. Like, she should probably be tested. She shouldn't. And black men gonna argue with me. And listen to how hard this brother go, because what this brother said, and it triggered me because this is what the brother sound like talking to me about this damn white girl.
over the past, I would say, few months, that this guy needs some serious help, that he's on a path of self-destruction, and that all the people that are sitting out here laughing at this dude, joking with this dude, or laughing at his stupidity are going to be a part of this dude's destruction. Now, he's definitely crossed the line now because you're messing with somebody who is a media darling. You understand what I'm saying? And once you start crossing these paths, man, they're going to come get you, man. Now, this dude,
They
Antonio
gonna come get you once you stop messing with them damn white girls. They gonna get you, man. You
Brown,
can't do
man,
that.
he does not know when to sit down and shut up. You understand what I'm saying? It's some stuff, bro, that's just not funny and should not be played.
No, it's not paymasters. It's regular brothers on the damn street sitting there arguing with me about, because all we care about is basketball anyway. You know what I'm saying? We shut up and dribble anyway. Let me talk about, like, oh yeah, we trying to get some brothers to go to the school. They ain't talking about that. We sit there and talk about some damn basketball all the time. I'll be like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't watched it in like a long time. I don't know what's going on. I only hear about stuff like this through here. You know what I'm saying? It's not the paymaster, bro. It's the regular Negroes on the damn street that sit there argue with me about this damn white girl.
Stuff he's doing with this young lady who have done nothing to him is absolutely ridiculous. Look, I get it if you don't like Caitlin Clark, if she's not your cup of tea. But it's one thing to say, hey, look, man, I don't think she's as good or whatever. It's another thing when you start taking that to a whole nother level, violating this woman and disrespecting this woman that have done nothing wrong to you. Antonio Brown completely crossed the line. And now he is not only
what up, my brother Anthony? Yeah, the other sister is, and I was trolling a white boy on there. See, they go up and stick up for their own kind, you know what I'm saying? We're going to find a way to be like, well, you know, to avoid the actual point, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they don't give a damn, like, you know what I'm saying? They be on video and all of that and sit there and lie to your face, and we have all of this evidence, and we gonna go defend somebody else at all costs, and at all costs find a way not to defend another black person and instead go at that black person like with smoke all day. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, like,
been blocked by Caitlin Clark, as well as this fool has been blocked by the president of the United States. He been blocked by his own.
Bakari gonna act like he sleep, but Bakari, come
you go
on
here messing with this woman. So this dude right here, bro, is a complete joke. You're gonna go on a race sexist rant against this woman, bro?
A racist, sexist
who you know
rant? No,
has high favor in the media. So whatever you get, Antonio Brown, because they're whispering that it may be charges brought against you for harassment, sir, that's on you, because you have a whole path of doing this shit. And I don't understand the people that's around this dude that's laughing at his lame jokes, laughing at the foolishness that he's out here doing, and the stupidity that he's doing to put himself in these dumbass situations, man. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You a grown man. You running around here bothering, running around here antagonizing, and running around here on a race broke the record. He's been calling her a man, and that's just how it started.
She looked like a man, bro. Y'all would agree if it was a damn black person. If they say Michelle Obama is a man, and I'll be like, well, you know, they call all black women, man. Y'all gonna be like, y'all just gonna agree with them. But she does look like a man. If I say this white bitch look like, dude, they attracted to white bitches that's built like teenage boys. They like the stuff like they call them girls that's built like teenage boys. And she don't look like a man to you. See, I wish I could find a black man, on here saying, "Oh, this black woman ain't no damn man." Like, what are you talking about? I'll call her black, but you gonna find a black man say, "Don't call this damn white girl no man." And that's
It was basically he been going off, and he started by basically calling her a man online. When she broke the record, he's been calling her a man, and that's just how it started. So I guess some people laughed.
Personally, I think she should be checked. You know what I'm saying? We should check for testosterone levels. You know what I'm saying?
At that lame ass joke that he's trying to put out. You understand what I'm saying? And where he's calling this woman a man, so it egged him to do even more. So then when he called her a man, then he just kept going on saying stupid stuff. Now, I ain't gonna put the comment on the screen to everything he said, because some of the stuff just went way too far. Then he goes.
Let me stop messing with Bakari. Bakari probably be mad at me for real. Let me stop. I was about to say, come on here, defend this white girl, Bakari. But let me stop playing because Bakari probably started getting mad at me too. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody be mad at me, but it's all good. I love y'all too. You know what I'm saying? They call me racist because I say to hell with them. You know, so
goes out and talks about
you feel me?
the woman's private area and how he thinks that area is constructed and built and looks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
which is
no.
absolutely disgusting for a grown ass man. But then again, this is the same.
Now they didn't put out naked pictures of this young sister Angel Reese, but you know what black people will say? Well, she asked for it. You know what I'm saying? She did do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? She did blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I wish we had this. I was watching that Robert Townsend movie the other day, Hollywood Shuffle. And you know, that scene where, you know what I'm saying, they was running away from the plantation and he helped the white girl up, you know what I'm saying, and then didn't help the sisters up. Now that's not I take it personal because like if one black man does something, I'm responsible for it, according to everybody, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why 'cause I know we think we could be individuals, but like we aren't, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Disgusting for a grown ass man. But then again, this is the same dude that threw a bag of you know what's at the mother of his children. Absolute.
What up, my brother Anthony?
Hey, what's up, forecast? What's going on, man?
Not much, not much. Let me play a little bit. Let me play a little bit more before you go in, my brother, because I'm gonna get off of here in a second. So I'm gonna play just a little bit more. And yeah, he probably does sleep with he probably does got the white girl, but yeah. Yeah, they look the same. It look like a little boy. They look like little boys or teenage
Disgusting
boys.
individual. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. All y'all that's enabling this clown, that's around him laughing at his stupid jokes and his bull jab. You guys, y'all are gonna be the reason why they lock this fool up. He gonna do something stupid and mess with the wrong person. I'm telling y'all this. I'm telling y'all this. You go around here messing with these people who have high favor within the media, like this girl.
It sound, you know what that sound like, my brother? It sound like back in the day when they used to tell, oh, now when you go pat around the white folks, you keep your eyes to the ground now, because white folks crazy. You get off the sidewalks, and because you know white girl gonna get you now. You know, anytime anything, you know they gonna get you. That's the thing, deep down though, that is the truth about it. We damn scared because they showed your ass will kill you if you even think about calling a white bitch a man. You know what I'm saying? We'll kill you. And maybe it'll work for you. I don't know. What you think, what's going on, my brother?
Man, that's a trip, man. Hey, man, I just got back in the house, man. I've been gone, man. Yeah, that's a trip, man. But who is that? Who is that kid, man?
Some dude named Ticket TV. He got like a sports thing. I heard about them brothers with the whole Kyrie thing, and I saw a lot of them talking about it. But they got mad at the Kyrie thing. But then when somebody go on there, be like, yeah, well, it's our fault. We should stop paying for NBA packages, not just the regular on TV stuff, but NBA package. And they all was like, well, no, I ain't gonna do that though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when he said, well, we need to stop talking about it, then he was like, they was like, nah, we're gonna talk about it, but we ain't gonna give up our packages. What the hell?
Man, it's just like it seems like in order for you to be like one of those brothers who make it like in sports media, you know, like your Stephen A. Smiths, your Jason Whitlock, and you know Shannon Sharp and all those guys, you got to be a super cool, man. You got to go out there and say some shit against black people, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's like they sit them down and they bring them in the office and they tell them, okay, this is what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just ridiculous, though, man. I mean, I don't understand it, man. I mean, hey, but the one that really got me was the Gayle King thing, man. And now, you know, and I ain't talking about Steven Jackson. I can care less about that joke or whatever. But I mean, just think of this forecast. Just think of this here. This older sister, man, Miss Gayle King, go sit up here. Look here. I mean, it's all this to me is about having at least having common courtesy, man. I mean, I would be like, congratulations, Coach Staley. You want, for winning the championship. Congratulations to you and your team. You know what I'm saying? Great game. It was down to the. I mean, this, cordial stuff. You being cordial, but you gonna sit up here and say telling this sister that how you was rooting for the other team and that you broke everybody's heart. I mean, that's unprofessional, man. You know what I'm saying? That's unprofessional. I mean, if that had been this, what if that had been, say, let's put somebody, let's say, what if that was Chris Webber? Chris Webber, 5'5". Chris Webber he's a pretty conscious dude for a long time. Just picture him being a commentator and going up to after a championship game with some team and against another team with like Luka Doncic is the superhero for the super white hero for the Dallas Mavericks. And then, you know what I'm saying, and going up there and saying, Luka, we were rooting against you, you know what I'm saying? And but you won, you broke our hearts. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably fire his ass. You know what I'm saying? They'll fire your ass for doing some shit like that. But when it's the other way around, man, when you putting it like you putting that old ugly, man, the bitch is ugly, man. And I'm like, her DNA needs to be checked, man. The bitch is ugly. But I'm just saying, man, she look like a dude, man. But I'm just saying, man, that just really got me, man. I'm saying, I couldn't believe that woman that did that. I mean, it's so unprofessional. I mean, okay, let's throw everything else out. And let's say we're gonna be even-handed today on this subject. I'm saying it was just unprofessional. I mean, now we're gonna throw the coon shit out, even though it was some super coon shit.
I'm just joking, but let me say that I'm just joking though. I don't mean that. I'm just joking. But you sound like that dude Acho. He was like, I'm gonna have a genderless, racialist.
I was just gonna go to him. I mean, like when he came out, and he with that same bullshit, man. Hey, look at it. They was doing a show today, and I had chimed in on they ain't let me in. But like I put it in it was a pinned comment, and I said I let them know that y'all know Caitlin Clark is not the all-time leading scorer in women's basketball. I said it was the sister, this sister Pearl Moore at Francis Marion University, and I said maybe Joy will get to it and tell y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? I had it pinned.
Yeah, she didn't have 3-pointers either.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. No 3-pointers. I'm saying, so here, this sister who is the leading scorer all time, but, I'm just looking at Acho there, well, she's the greatest, she's the GOAT. She's the all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball history, and all this old shit. His nose is so full of white folks' asses the same, man. And not just him neither. I mean, the other brother, Shady, he's a straight coon. You know what I'm saying? James Jones, he got coonish ways. He ain't 100% coon, but he got coonish ways. And Joy, with the mulattoes, they don't know which way to go. You know what I'm saying? They say one or two things good, and then, but hers, I think, is more like from a white woman's feminist perspective than a black perspective. You know what I'm saying? But man, that was just ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, I can't understand it, man. I mean, these Negroes, they don't know how pathetic they look. About all these Negroes coming out caping for, and not just caping for, but just caping for white bitches, period. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, you know how many brothers I've talked to personal. That's what's triggered. I wouldn't give a damn about this, but I was triggered because brothers I know personally that I've had to sit there like, what? Like, this white bitch she's not even the best white bitch ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, and then because they've been talking about that. Well, they don't get paid and all of that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because that white bitch not getting the contract. Yeah, but they like she didn't get as much.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Man, look here.
And I know brothers that feed into that nonsense. That's the problem.
Yeah. Man, look here. I got a cousin, man. One of my best friends. He's my cousin. My cousin he laid there. We was out there because he helping me with my garden, man. I don't want to talk too crazy. But my cousin, we were just talking about, it was before the championship. I think it was when they get ready to play LSU. My cousin said, man, my cousin, he like Caden Clark.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
I looked at my cousin, man, I started laughing. I said, what? I didn't, I was just doing it playfully, like, But I say, and I looked at, I said, he asked me what I thought. I said, I despise him. He said, man, I like Caleb Clark. But yeah, man, I say he's even in my family. Even in my family.
Yo, because they put me on to that. She's not even the best in college. They put me on to that girl Juju. She better than her.
Yeah. And you see what happened when that sister got on. I mean, it's like, I always say it alone when I see her play. I say, they don't never put nobody on. Of course, you let somebody go out there and just shoot. You know what I'm saying? But, they never put them. At the time they would have put somebody on, look what happened to them.
Yeah,
but
that's why it's just like, it's just irking me because you have these grown ass black men saying this stuff, and it's like, white bitch is the most dangerous species. But anyway, I wish you was here earlier, brother, because I was showing a girl who said we was better off in slavery because we learned skills, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna go back through it. So look at the beginning of it and let me know.
I think I heard it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard. I'll check it out, but I think I've heard before. I've heard something like that before.
Bro, like, what's your first impression? You look at the screen. What's your first impression? Did that look like a? Oh no, I ain't sharing the screen. Hold on, my bad.
Oh yeah, I want to tell you something too, man. Go ahead, go and get it started. I'm gonna tell you something. I want to say something after this.
All right, I just want to and then you can go into this. What this first thing that did this look like what that look like to you?
It's like a transgender to me, man.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
No, I was just I didn't know if you had heard about it, man, but it was I just seen it myself, man. I didn't, somebody was trying to tell me, hey man, did you check out? You hear what Biden had said? But I didn't, I was on the move, man, moving around. But so I went and checked it out. So they gave me the information. I went and checked it out. And it was like about 2 days ago, I think. 2 days ago. Joseph Biden was talking about, he had his uncle or somebody, one of his uncles that had fought in World War II. It's just funny. It's just funny as hell, man. His uncle had fought in World War II. And then his uncle...
His old ass probably dead.
No, but just listen at me. But then his uncle had got shot down. It was in the South Pacific, and then he got shot down over Papua New Guinea. He said they never found his body. Now, Papua New Guinea is in the South Pacific, and the people of Papua New Guinea are black people. They black people for the South Pacific. But anyway, hey, look what he said. He said they never found the body. He said that the people of Papua New Guinea had there was a lot of cannibals around at that time, and they probably ate it. You know what I'm saying? This nigga said it he said it on the news, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this dude, that kind of racist mentality, that stuff that's in him, sometimes they can't hold it. They can't hold it back. It comes out, man. It comes out. Now, he ain't gonna talk about some black people. They ate his uncle. That's why but see, this is the kicker. That the information really came out. They know what happened. He didn't get shot down over Papua New Guinea. He got shot down over the South Pacific in the water. The plane crashed in the water and they never found it. So he didn't get shot down over that island. He wasn't nowhere near the island. But yeah, he lay there and said that the people probably ate it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think in his mind, that racist mind of his. And see, and what really made a big thing about it, because see, the prime minister of Papua New Guinea, he was pissed off when he heard about it. And he had a little press conference about it. He was talking about this shit. He was really pissed off. And he was getting on Joe Biden's ass too. You know what I'm saying? Don't call about people cannibals and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like the whole mentality. You know what I'm saying? That's really how they talk about Donald Trump and all this shit. Yeah, Donald Trump ain't shit, but Joe Biden ain't shit neither. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Biden did way more to hurt black people than Trump has. Now, I ain't been damn one of the bastards. But I'm just saying, we kissing ass. doing chicken struts and fish fries and all kind of shit to keep this hunky in office. You know what I'm saying? To help him out. I mean, that bastard that don't give a damn about you. Man, remember when he first became president? Remember that secret meeting they had that it got leaked when he was with those black members of the Black Congressional Caucus, and they was arguing, and he was saying, and he told them that how, hey, look here, and all this other shit here. He was talking crazy to him. You know, the shit that came out and it got leaked, and instead of them going in on him about what he said, you know what they saying? Who leaked the tape? They trying to find out how it got leaked. I guess because, you know, they was embarrassed because he was talking to him like a slave master. You know what I'm saying? And now this the motherfucker that Roland Martin and all these other old Democratic Party ass kissing motherfuckers want you to go and vote for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, hey, you know how I am, man. I'm like you. Hey, man, ain't now one of them motherfuckers for us. And I don't give a damn which one you vote for. You know, one is the devil and one is Satan. You know what I'm saying?
Man, them fools is friends, man.
It's a trip, man. I'm just laughing. I'm saying this man came out and said his uncle got eaten by some black folks. You know
Yeah, I would say this though, right? Like back in you move real quick, because I was talking about history, right? In the 1430s and all of that stuff, even in up to like the 1500s, black people thought like, oh, they was kidnapping them and eating them. And I think that they was right, you know what I'm saying? I think dude is projecting, because I think the black people who said they was kidnapping them and eating them, I think they wasn't too far off, you know what I'm saying? So I think that whole thing is projection. But yeah, I ain't see it. I gotta see that, John. I'm gonna look it up after this. Let me show you the last speaking of some gay stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I want you to see one of your gay friends, your gay
She
ally.
shreds, and like that's somehow okay because she's like
guess
white
not,
and
right?
she's like mediocre. But the second like a non-black person criticizes their black faves just like a little bit, suddenly it's like that music's not for you. You can't criticize.
All right, never mind. I don't give a hell what he's saying. You know, it's irrelevant. I want to play something positive. I played this yesterday, but I didn't play the whole thing. So I want to play the whole thing this time from this sister in Richmond, Virginia. I don't have the other businesses, but I got this sister business in Richmond, Virginia. So shouts out to this sister.
Up and down the East Coast, wild people on national television. And now Chef Binet is here to share the experience of the sweet bar with us. I've just been getting excited about the smell. I promise I won't eat during this interview because we want to hear all about you and what you've brought to share with us.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I have a little array of desserts here. So we offer our gourmet cinnamon rolls. That's our signature dessert. So I have the minis here, which some people think are pretty large, but we also have our large regular version of them. So we have our original, our peach cobbler, and our Oreo cookies and cream.
And so how did you get into this? We talked a little bit before the interview, but many of us got an easy bake oven as kids, but not a whole lot of us turned it into a successful business.
Yeah, I kind of took it and ran with it. My parents got me one for Christmas, and ever since then I just had like that sweet tooth and wanted to create everything from scratch. So I just kind of continued to learn under a lot of great chefs over the last few years, and decided to start my own thing, you know, whatever I really loved, which was cinnamon rolls and walking in a mall and smelling Cinnabon. So
yes.
I kind of took it to the next level and made a gourmet version of that.
That brings back a lot of memories. So if folks want to buy some of these desserts, where can they go? How can they get access to your sweet treats here?
Well, we do a lot of pop-ups here throughout Richmond. So we this weekend, we're going to be at the Answer Brew Pub and off Lee Street, and also Richmond Night Market.
Oh,
so
yes.
17th Street. So any weekend you can find us anywhere in Richmond selling our desserts. We offer our schedule posted on Instagram and also on our website, BinetSweetsBar.com. And yeah, come out and find us and get your sweet tooth satisfied.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Sheila, you see on the screen right now. First of all, I love your social media presence.
Thank you.
On the screen, you can see the website where you can learn more. But I mean, just look at that. These are the stuffed snickerdoodles.
Yes,
you were
cinnamon
talking about.
buttercream. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So some of the things that you do, right, are a spin on a lot of the classic stuff that we're used to. What kind of inspired you to, you said, taking the cinnamon rolls, making a different size,
Yeah.
or just doing different things like that?
Yeah, so I have my degree in culinary arts, and I grew up kind of admiring people that could like turn one thing into something different, mix different flavors and cuisines. So I just kind of took the sweet side of that. And yeah, so I just started during the pandemic focusing on cinnamon rolls, a lot of baking because you had a lot of time.
Yes.
So I did that, and yeah, I kind of expanded it. I have vegan options. We offer vegan donuts, chocolate chip cookies, stuffed snickerdoodle cookies. So yeah, and our number one selling peach cobbler cinnamon roll. People love it because it's on top and baked on the inside as well.
Oh my goodness. If we could just show that on the screen. Okay, here we go. Right here in the middle. That is the peach cobbler. I'm telling y'all, it smells so good in here. So you were on the Food Network.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It was amazing. Flying out to California, getting.
All right, so I wanted to play that because it goes on for like a while. You know what I'm saying? But shouts out to her. Shouts out to Erica Howard with Shuff in the Chair. Shouts out to the Smoothie Queen. Y'all support the Smoothie Queen. I guess I should have had her page pulled up, but I got some from the Smoothie Queen. I'm gonna get some from this sister too, and probably something else from the Smoothie Queen. So y'all support the Smoothie Queen. It's definitely on point. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people is vegans. I know somebody who's a vegan, so maybe they might like this. But anyway, my brother, I wish you had came on earlier because like I said, I was talking about some like history stuff at the beginning. I definitely wanted you to add in. But yeah, go back and listen to that part and let me know what you think, my brother.
Yeah, okay, man. I will. I told you I had been out, man. Because I had a friend just died, man, and we try to find out everything, man. We try to find out where the funeral service gonna be at and stuff, and yeah, because man, my friend, we live right here in the city, man, but I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. I mean, I connected with him I talked to him on Facebook, but then I hadn't seen him, and then he just all of a sudden, no, this happened, man. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, we just been out trying to find out some things and kicking it with the family, trying to get with them, and doing stuff like that, man. So yeah, I really been gone all day, doing that and doing other stuff, man. But yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm definitely sorry to hear that, my brother. I already know how it is, man. That whole situation would be crazy, I already know how it is, but yeah, my brother. So, well, yeah, man. You want to say anything else though before we get out of here?
Look, man. I'm just like that. Like I was saying about that friend, man, and then there was a couple other people. So it's been, it's been about. I've had 2 or 3 people, kind of close that died in a short period of time. And like, I don't know, man. I just, sometimes you just want to kind of let's get back and clear your head for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, yeah, I mean, I just need to just, reevaluate things. Thinking about, probably getting my stuff together a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because this, I mean, this health thing. You know what I'm saying? This health. I mean, we got to start taking our health more seriously, man. And I know I need to do a little bit. I know I need to do better. I mean, I'm on a program, but I need to stick to it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's all. It's been kind of on my mind lately, man. And yeah, not too much, but I mean, I'm straight though. I'm straight.
No, I understand, my brother. Like I said, like it's been like a year or two now. Like the same thing happened to me. My boy who I knew, he was like in his 50s though. And not saying that was because he had a heart issue, and then he just like his heart, like he was way too young for that. And then I had a young sister who I went to school with who was my age, and she had heart issues too, and they died within like a 2-month span. And then since then, yeah.
I'm sorry. You see, then the thing, see, me too. You know, I had like an enlarged heart myself. You know.
Yeah, that's what he had, you know, and then he had like fluid on the heart and stuff.
I ain't got that, but I mean, because you know, it had to do with my weight. You know, I'm a big dude. I'm like 6 foot, 320 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And I need to get in better shape. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I had kind of had a hard problem probably a long time ago, probably from my youth. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm good. But it's just, you know, sometimes, when you get you get them feelings in your chest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
and don't underestimate too, because I know Black Magus had the walking challenge thing. Don't underestimate like starting off by walking. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? A
yeah.
certain amount every
Do
day. You
it.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
'Cause
I've been doing it. I've been doing it. I smoked them cigars for so long, you know, bagged up off of that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you, Raw. Definitely a part of life, but you know, we don't want to be sick because like my mom, like diabetes and all that. It's like not like we haven't been having those same issues, and like, you know, I get it because like my mom goes to the doctor or whatever. They don't even take her blood pressure, and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like that's why I had that thing with Erica. You know what I'm saying, like when we was trying to tell people about their health, because you don't want to be hurting while you are alive, because that's the only thing you can think about is like hurting. You want to take care of yourself while you still can,
Yeah.
so that you could be in shape. Not
Yeah.
not only to that, and to be able to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what could happen. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Because Cause see, my thing is, I've always been a pretty strong guy, man, my whole life. I was always, that guy. But but see, my thing is the breathing part. You know what I'm saying? I got a part like with my breathing, and so and that comes, I gotta lose some weight. You know what I'm saying? And just getting better exercise and everything. And I know I'm getting up there, man. I'm 57. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna try to put it in another drive, man, and kick it up a little bit and try to get myself together, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you definitely got it, my brother. I know you can definitely handle it. I know it's hard, you know, because we all struggle to do the things that we need to do to follow
Yeah.
our goals. I shouldn't be on here right now because I'm off what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, we about to you know what I'm saying, get out of here. I feel you, Rob, but you don't want to be sick, and even while you're here, like even if it's elementary, you don't want to be sick in elementary. You want to be healthy, you know what I'm saying, and not hurt, you know. That's all,
Yeah.
you know. And smoking is definitely bad for you, you know. And I know a lot of people, like, you know, my dad been smoking since I was like, you know what I'm saying, yeah, all of that stuff, you know. But anyway, I got to get off of here and anyway though. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming on here, my brother.
Yeah, man. As always, man.
Yo, you know I have to play this before I get off of here though. I have to do this because this is what it kind of sounds like to me, you know.
I thank God for slavery. I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on, somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree.
But I'm gonna let this brother have the last word. So, some more civilized.
I still worship that tree.
Yeah, I mean, damn, I see trees every day. That's all I'm saying, and use them every day. But this brother gonna have the last words, you know.
For being. And it is the only reason, of course, that I would appear before you tonight. And I would hope that we would have a chance to really understand one another. Most certainly I would say things that will alienate some of you because of your personal lifestyle. That is not my intent. I have no fight with black people. I never in my life have used words like Tom. I never in my life have used words like nigger. I'm not that type of person. I have one enemy, and that enemy is the white race. No other enemies do I have. And therefore I'm at total war with that enemy, the enemy who has for 362 years waged unrelenting war against my people. And I have no time to have internal conflicts. I do take issue with brothers because of their political position, but it's not personal. It's a political position. And so with that being
All right. So yeah, I wanted you to understand that. I might have said the word. Oh, go ahead.
My biggest inspiration, brother.
Huh?
That's one of my biggest inspirations, Dr. Bobby Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the book right here.
Yeah, and I might have said, I'm trying to say clone now. You know what I'm saying? So I might have said clone, but as definitely I know who my enemy is. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't my intention to hurt nobody, but it is what it is. I forgot. It's your ideology, like the brother said. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate you for coming on here, my brother.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, and shouts out to Black Magus in the building. Shouts
Shout
out
out,
to
man.
Raw. Yeah, shouts out Raw in the building. Shouts out
Shout
to
out.
Consider in the building. We're gonna be back Wednesday at 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be back Wednesday at 8:30. With me and Consider. I'm not gonna come back on until then, y'all. This time.
Yeah, I might
But
be.
then
I might be on, man. I'm just trying to rest my mind for a minute from social media, but I'll be on sometime.
you know, yeah, it's all good, my brother. Like whenever you feel comfortable, man. It ain't no because it's just it is what it is. This is
Yeah.
propaganda, but it's I'm not saying it's not true, but like it's a war. Like I stopped doing it for a little while, and then it was countless black people that I stopped doing it for a couple months, and everything that happened was like the January 6th thing, and hella stuff
Yeah.
happened, and I only stopped doing it for like 2 months, so.
Yeah.
But anyway. Shouts out, Bakari was in the building. Shouts out to Erica who be in here. Shouts out to everybody else I forgot. I appreciate all of y'all.
Yeah.
And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace.